on the phone. Eddie, how are you?
I'm excellent. What's up, brother?
Good to talk to you, man. It's been quite a while since we have spoken, and you're fighting Dustin Poirier in Dallas this Saturday. How you feeling?
Great. We're out in Dallas now.
You are down there.
Weight cut's going good. Feeling energetic. I'm a Maserati.
Okay, we haven't talked to you in a while, Eddie. Last time we saw you was before you fought in New York, and I've been wanted to. Obviously, we have to ask you about the Conor fight. I wanted to ask you when you walked in because I couldn't. Did the moment? Was it more than you thought it was going to be? The actual moment of fighting in the Garden?
No, man. I've been asked this a bunch of times, of course. So I had a great time. I had a great time leading up to the fight. It was all real enjoyable for me. To not complicate things, I got hit with a punch, and anybody who ever fought kind of understands this. The media don't need to complicate it. I don't want to complicate it any more than it was. I got hit with a punch, and I did a lot of stupid things thereafter. That rarely ever happens in my career, rarely.
Sure.
And I just kind of forgiven myself about it a couple months back, and we moved forward.
Yeah. Did he hit harder than you thought he would? Because people have said that, for all of this big shit talking him out, but they say he does throw a hard punch. Was it more than you expected?
Yeah. Well, it was the timing and the speed of it. I think was what was surprising because he counterfoot. And I threw a punch, and I got hit with a punch in between. So, I mean, when you're a good boxer, you have good timing, it's kind of like you feel like you got snuck because it's a punch that you really didn't see. So it was more the timing and where it came from was what surprised me.
And how did you handle that loss after? Was it one of those things where you're like, okay, it was a title defense and you lost the belt? Did you grieve that for a while, or how was that for you?
Yeah, I grieved too long.
You did.
I'm sort of my biggest critic, and typically coming off losses, I do well. I've lost championship belts. I've won them. I've bounced back a number of times in my career, but just the magnitude of the fight, the shit talk that was going on, it just kind of definitely was a bigger, bitter pill to swallow than most, but. I'm happy where I'm at right now, and I think that loss is going to turn out to be one of the better things that happened in my career.
Yeah, Eddie, I read that. Excuse me. I read that you said somewhere that it was very freeing. It felt freeing, almost like when your worst nightmare came true. Almost like you felt like you were when you had that dream where you're naked in front of the school or something like that. I mean, could you explain that, how it felt so... What's that?
Not a school.
In school. In front of a school. I guess I don't want to misquote you on that.
Naked in school is what you meant.
Naked in school.
Yeah, you can never teach again. What?
He's going to be getting arrested. Eddie, you said it. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I mean, I'll probably get slack, and I've gotten slack for saying that, but it's a feeling that I had. It was liberating. I've been afraid of that moment my whole career. I've been probably afraid of that moment for 13 years now, that happening. And I realized when it got over and the fight got over that everything was kind of still the same. And I was fearing something that it was all really unnecessary is what I'm saying, to feel the way I felt for the past 13 years, because at the end of the day, I'm doing something I love to do, and there are the consequences sometimes when you step inside the cage long enough.
Yeah.
But it was definitely liberating, and if you can't understand it, you probably never fought, and you probably never made yourself vulnerable to that many people.
Well, let me tell you, Eddie, I definitely understand it. I started my career off in the UFC I think I was the first guy ever to get stopped with a spinning back fist from a guy who dresses like a pimp, and he was wearing Speedos when we fought. So imagine opening your eyes and seeing that dancing above you. That was brutal. And it was with the last 15 seconds of a fight that I was dominating. And it was humiliating, and it was such a highlight. I still see it once in a while. It was a highlight clip from just for years and years to come. But the best way, from my experience, to take care of that is to get back in there and kick somebody's ass. How you feeling for Dustin?
I'm excellent, man. I feel like I was saying, it was a liberating feeling. So like going back into sparring, there's not really much to hold back because the fear's sort of gone. So I feel like I could be myself. I could do things that maybe I wasn't doing because I was afraid to lose, or some kind of tension was there that wasn't allowing me to fully be myself. So I think this training camp, I just sort of let loose, man. Just throw things that I don't normally throw, take caution to the wind, and do some things that I used to do when I was 18, 19 years old, and it sort of made fighting fun again for me.
Eddie, when you say your worst nightmare come true, do you mean the humiliation of that feeling? Because you have lost fights before, and it's one of those things that you guys deal with. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's just the capacity. Like I went to the Madison Square Garden maybe a month or two ago. Me and my wife went to go check out the Bon Jovi concert, and I walked in there and I immediately was just like kind of in this different realm. I was angry. It all came back. I'm like, man, it would have been nice to shut this place down and blow the roof off this place. I did feel like I didn't realize the capacity of the moment that I was in until it was all over. So it was a little rough.
And I've never had anything on that scale. I remember when I first started doing stand-up, this is back in 1990, I did something that was an important set for me, and I remember bombing horribly and walking off stage. I bailed out early. I cried on the way home in the car. I'm like, I'm a fucking failure. I'm not good. It's a confirmation of all my fear. But then the next day I remember thinking, it'll never hurt this bad again. Like, this is the one where you faced it. This is what you were afraid of. It was this validation that you weren't who you thought you were. And you know what? Here you are the next day. You're okay. You can do it again. So I wonder if it's something like that where it's never going to be that bad again.
Yeah, I mean, this is fist fighting. It can get worse, brother.
Oh, you look at it like, okay. Now I'm talking about the emotion of it, though.
We're not throwing jokes at a crowd here.
No, I mean,
really bad.
No, I mean the emotion of it, though. Not the physical. Obviously, I've never been kicked by a fucking guy with an Irish accent. Yeah. I'm just saying the emotion of something never being that bad again.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so not. I definitely hope so not. I don't feel the way I felt afterwards on the drive. It was a long drive home, and it was only to Philadelphia. So yeah, I don't imagine things could feel worse than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, this game is full of ups and downs. I mean, you just went from capturing that title, man. I mean, that was one of your best performances ever. What you did to RDA. I was there live for that, Eddie. That was a thing of beauty. And I think they just showed a clip of that the other day when you were laying into him. When you had him hurt, man, you had the killer instinct, man. You were on him, and you even tried that flying knee where you got cross-eyed for a split second. You got out, you got up. I mean, no one, that was such a great fight. I mean, look, I look at it like Luke Rockhold, man. He went from beating my guy Weidman and having the best night of his life, and then getting stopped by a guy that he destroyed. He beat Michael Bisping. I was there for both those fights, and he beat him in Australia that time with ease, and then he lost his title to a guy that he beat. And listen, this game, if you're not a mentally strong person, this game will bring you to your knees and keep you there.
But Bisping too, like, he's a guy who I thought was done.
Oh yeah,
and something clicked in that guy, and he shouldn't be where he is. I mean, it's amazing to me.
Oh yeah,
you mean that is
it's perseverance.
It's the other side of the coin. It's like you can be out, like people can think, oh, this guy's washed up, he's done. I'm amazed by where he's come in such a short time. That at his point in his career.
Eddie, I don't know if we told you, we have the great actor Frank Grillo in studio with us. So if you hear a third voice, it's not Chris the producer.
That was me.
He's sitting there looking at us.
I think I'm gonna be at his fight too. I think we're tying in Kingdom, the show, with that. We're doing a promotion there.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
When you getting in?
What night is the fight? It's the
Saturday night.
Is it 13th?
Yes.
I believe it's the 13th.
I think we get in on the 11th or the 12th. Yeah.
Eddie, you ever watch Kingdom?
I'm not a big movie goer. I think
it's a TV show.
Honestly, I get addicted to them things. So if if it's already like on demand,
yeah,
I'll end up staying up till 4 a.m. and watching.
I'm the same way,
Yeah.
man. I don't watch. I don't know what's. I don't know actor. I don't know what